Yes, everyone is able to join.
आज चैंटिंग कौन कर रहे हैं?
आप कर रहे हैं?
अच्छा चलिए मैं आई विल ट्राई माय बेस्ट
जी स्टार्ट
सदाशिव समारंभां शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरु परम्पराम् श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनर्पुनः ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं कर्वावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः आज वर्सेस कौन सी पढ़नी?
34 to 33 to 36
ठीक है सदृशं चेष्टते स्वस्यः प्रकृते ज्ञानवानपि प्रकृतिं शान्तिभूतानि निग्रहः किं करिष्यति इन्द्रियस्येन्द्रियस्यार्थे रागद्वेषौ व्यवस्थितौ तयोर्न वशमागच्छेत् तौ ह्यस्य परिपन्थिनौ श्रेयान् स्वधर्मो विगुणः परधर्मात्मनुष्ठितात् स्वधर्मे निधनं श्रेयः परधर्मो भयावहः अथ केन प्रयुक्तोऽयं पापं चरति पुरुषः अनिच्छन्नपि त्वाश्रणे बलादिव नियोजितः.
Thank you for your effort. Dhanyavad. Thank you. God bless. Ji. So, seeing the important verse, I'll once again repeat a little bit from the standpoint of the chapter being Karam Yoga. Krishna's message based on the Vedic knowledge in 34th verse of chapter 3, context of Karam Yoga. He says, your greatest battle is to be with your own ragadvesh. These ragadvesh are in the form of a samskar acquired by our own past actions, seekings, knowledge, whatever we hold within ourselves. This is also another context called Prakriti. Another standpoint, you will call the same thing as your causal body. They have just about a similar connotation. In this context, when I say similar, means there will be some mild difference, but there's a lot of overlap of the meaning used in a certain context. Prakriti as one's swabhav, one's nature. What is Prakriti? That what we are today endowed with, this Prakriti Gunatmika, it is of gunas, made of gunas. It's got characteristics. It has characteristics. Broadly, sattva, rajas, and tamas. But here in this context, the important part is the swabhav that each one of us, the individual nature that we hold in a seed form, bij roop mein, which is also our causal body. Causal body, when we use the word, we include avidya in it. But here the context is restricted only to the swabhav of oneself. That swabhav, prakriti, being in a causal state, means it is the karan of indriya vyavhar. Being the karan means the cause. It instigates the movement of our own indriyas, in which area in the world they seek experience. Based on our own prakriti, that prakriti will instigate, means it will trigger, it will express that specific seeking in the world. जैसा हमारा स्वभाव है, वैसा ही हमारे इंद्रियों का व्यापार है. मीन्स हमारी इंद्रियां कहाँ चरती हैं इस जगत में, क्या देखती हैं, देखना पसंद करती हैं, क्या सुनना पसंद करती है, क्या खाना पसंद करती है, कहाँ जाना पसंद करती है, एक्सेट्रा. हमें क्या अच्छा लगता है इज बेस्ड ऑन दिस अक्वायर्ड स्वभाव, एंड दैट वी आर फ्लोइंग विद द मूवमेंट ऑफ द सेंसेस. उनके साथ हम बहते हैं. हमारा ही पास्ट एक्वायर्ड, नो डाउट, but being very forceful, they express themselves. That prakriti, being in a causal state, we have no control over. हमें दिखती कहाँ है, तो हम कुछ कर ही नहीं सकते. We are a product of it. So we cannot go back into the prakritic bhav of ours and make a correction there. That means at that level, as Krishna said, helplessly it will express itself. Whatever we have acquired. This prakriti expressing through our indriyas makes us do whatever we do, puts us into pravritti. Pravritti means it puts us into engagements, respectively, as per our own swabhav. We start engaging in the world through the indriyas. Indriyas are our means. वो हमें ले जाती है जहां जहां हमारे स्वभाव एम्बेडेड है. हमारी इंद्रियां वहां वहां हमें ले जाती हैं, हमें वहां बिठा देती हैं in those विषय, in those objects, because of which we have our sensory experiences. At the level of pravritti, जब हम already जा चुके उसके साथ, it will be difficult to handle. We are already finding ourselves doing certain things. You can't control it at that level. It's very tough, very difficult. It's like a flood which is already in speed. It'll be difficult to control till it slows down, till it reduces its force. At its natural force, it'll be difficult to control. Impossible, because whatever will control will also flow away with it. What comes between pravritti and prakriti? I'm sorry, prakriti and pravritti. What comes between these two? Does prakriti just express itself as pravritti? No. What comes in between is, as our acharyas would put it, or as our sampradaya puts it, is the vritti between. Vritti means thought. हमारे स्वभाव के अनुकूल हमारे विचार होते हैं, हमारे थॉट्स होते हैं. As per our nature, so do we entertain thoughts. Now, at the level of the prakriti, there is no control. At the level of pravritti, means engagements, there is no control. At the level of vritti, thoughts, is there a control possible?
Yes. Yes, we can.
And that is what he says. At the level of your स्वभाव, जिसमें राग द्वेष स्थित है, व्यवस्थित है, that raga dvesh at the level of your nature, you cannot change it. But when this raga dvesh expresses itself as a thought, as a vritti, before it pushes you into pravritti, there is a possibility of an intervention with the help of your purusharth. At the level of thoughts, we can change. If we change our thoughts, gradually is underline, highlight. Gradually, there is no overnight change. If there is an overnight change, there is trouble brewing somewhere. You cannot change a swabhav overnight. Gradually, when you start working on your thoughts, those thoughts start to now change the way in which you are embedding again your experience into your own impressions. How do you embed them back? Embed means, how are those impressions forming again? That intervention, Krishna says, put in the effort. In fact, the importance is so high. While Prakriti will take its own course, you cannot alter it. Yet, the importance of Purusharth is so high that you can alter it with the help of your Purusharth at the level of your thoughts. And that is why the entire Karam Yoga is at the level of thoughts.
Mind.
It's at the level of thoughts in this context. The whole Karam Yoga is at the level of thoughts, because thoughts is where you can change. Indriya, arthe. Indriyas have their own movement with their own respective artha. Artha is Vishaya. And how are they moving? Indriyon ke ghode, as we saw in the Katha Upanishad, the analogy of the horses, इंद्रियों के घोड़े किस रास्ते पे चलते हैं? वो अपने अपने विषयों के रास्ते पे बहते हैं. वो किस विषय की तरफ जाते हैं? वो हमारे संस्कार हैं जो हमें उन विषयों की तरफ खींचते हैं. इंद्रियां बस उसी रास्ते पे चलती है. do not yield into them without any resistance. Put in the effort to control your raga, dvesh at the level of your likes and dislikes, which is thoughts. So your thoughts can be categorized as what I like, what I don't like, and I can understand my likes and my dislikes. At that level is where we start to see that we are not succumbing to our likes and dislikes, that they do not control us, that those likes and dislikes are not powerful enough to make us do what they want all the time. While many of them will be harmless, like yesterday we said, chocolate and butterscotch doesn't matter what you have. As long as not having the other or having what you dislike can upset you. So, this is where the control starts to have. If my like is not met, if I'm getting disturbed, then that means it is my raga which has expressed itself and I can dilute it. How? Once a while, let me voluntarily, happily, willfully, pleasingly choose to say, in this context example, if I like chocolate and I don't like butterscotch, if I choose to willingly, mark the words, I know I have a weakness for chocolate. That chocolate ice cream disturbed me if I did not get it, which means I have a very strong impression. Rag hai. Ab- How do I deal with that rag? That like that has expressed itself, I can voluntarily, willingly, once in a while, occasionally, when I am comfortable, when I think I'm ready for it, but I need to counter it. I need to give the pratipaksh there. And that pratipaksh is, let my like not grow so much that I lose sight of having a balance if a dislike has come my way. So if I have only an option of a butterscotch, even if I don't have, supposing I have an option of both of them, let me choose butterscotch and work on that dislike, because every bite of that butterscotch is going to give me was my facial expressions can be very powerful because I don't like it. Because I don't like it, there is a scope for control there. There is a scope for balance there. There is a scope for purusharth there. As a result of this method of balancing my likes and dislikes and making my mind freed of thought, that influence of the likes and dislikes, I gradually can say that I am ready to 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 pursue, to be, I'm ready to be acknowledging, to be acknowledging that this mind has come to some degree of momentum. Now, this is the basic why we should do it. Now, here is Madhusudan, this is a very important bhashyam. We'll come to the text now to see if adds more specific clarity. Because however much we explain it clearly, what Shastra will tell us, what Shastra, the terms that they use, straight away delivers. So even if we do not understand all the terms, it still delivers the message. We will do this portion little by little where we find we can, as much you can understand. Starting is very easy. Indriyasya iti. Vipsaya. Vipsaya means twice repeating it. Indriya. Normally, the rule of the Shastra is they do not repeat. Repetition is a flaw, one of the flaws in Shastra. But here, the Moolam itself is repeating. Indriyaha. Actually, it is Indriyasya arthe. But for whatever sake, it's used twice. Indriya, indriyon ke vishay mein. To indicate sarvesham indriyanam arthe. Means all the indriyas. Unke vishay. What are the Vishaya? Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. So where do Indriyas, what is it meaning? That Vishaya means कान का विषय क्या है? शब्द. त्वचा का विषय क्या है? स्पर्श. आंख का विषय क्या है? रूप. टंग का विषय, आपकी जिह्वा का विषय क्या है? रस. घ्राण का विषय क्या है? नोज का विषय क्या है? गंध. इंद्रियस्य अर्थे. In the same way, karma indriya vishaya api. Evam karma indriya vishaya api. In the same way, even with respect to the karma indriyas. What are the karma indriyas? Vachana, vachanadau anukule. Vachana ada. Your speech, your grahanam, your charanam, means your vak, your grasping, speech, grasping, moving, then evacuating and propagating. This, now here watch how raga is explained, needs a little attention. Shastra nishiddhe api. This इंद्रियों के विषय में जो लग जाना होता है, शास्त्र अगर निषिद्ध करे तो भी वो उनमें लग रहे हैं. That is called ragaha. What is ragaha? What is rag? When we find ourselves engaged in those experiences, activities which are shastra nishid, हम उनकी तरफ ग्रेविटेट हो रहे हैं. Example for rasa would be shastra nishid rasa. What is the example for rasa which is shastra nishid?
Drinking.
Good.
Very tamasic diet.
Also correct.
Yeah.
But straight away, yes. Alcohol. Drinking. शास्त्र निषिद्ध है, मगर मेरी इंद्रिय क्या कर रही है? यस, मेरी इंद्रिय क्या कर रही है? उसको रस ले रही है. उस रस में it is looking at what? Pratikulata. It looks at it as something which is giving me happiness. It holds a value in it. It values that alcohol. It's valuing it. That is called raga. What is rag? Our sensory experiences, sensory contacts, even if Shastra is saying not to have them, we still move towards them. हम फिर भी खिंच रहे हैं उसकी तरफ. वो राग है. शास्त्र विहिते अपि प्रतिकूले means शास्त्र विहित कर रहा है कुछ कर्मों को, कुछ व्यापार को, कुछ इंद्रियों के व्यवहार को. शास्त्र कह रहा है कि ये करो, बट द्वेष इति एवं, I detest it. I don't find myself moving towards them. That is dvesh. Iti evam, in this manner, prati indriya artham. Every indriya has its respective rag and dvesh. Vyavasthit. It is vyavasthit. It is organized. It is set up. Rag and dvesh is set up with every indriya. अपने अपने विषयों में वो सेट हुआ है. Based on what? अनुकूल प्रतिकूल व्यवस्थया. What I have looked upon as ये अनुकूल है. अनुकूल means according to what will give me happiness. मेरा अनुमान है कि अल्कोहल से मुझे आनंद मिलेगा, So I look upon alcohol as anukul. I look upon getting up early in the morning, doing my prayers or doing my namaskar to Surya Dev. I look upon it as pratikul. My own value structure, what I place a value on, that anukulata, pratikula, what do I have a value for? I keep repeating this in many many contexts. ये बहुत बेसिक आधार है. हम किस चीज को वैल्यू करते हैं, हम उसी में अपनी प्रवृत्ति रखते हैं, हम उसी में अपना टाइम, अपनी एंगेजमेंट्स, अपनी एनर्जी, अपनी प्रवृत्ति उसमें डालते हैं जिस चीज को हम अनुकूल समझते हैं, जिस चीज को हम वैल्यू करते हैं. दैट अनुकूलता, प्रतिकूलता व्यवस्थया स्थितौ, it is based on that. न तो नियमेन अनियमेन, and it is not random. It is not, this is very subtle. It is not random कि sometimes I will and sometimes I will not. राग जिसमें मेरा बैठ गया है means wherever I see a value, wherever I see that example that we gave, a carrot being shown in front of a cow comes closer. It sees anukulata there. Wherever I see anukulata, मेरा राग वहां है. And wherever I see pratikulata means I see it as not conducive, not good for me, not, I don't value it. In fact, I don't think it will give me happiness. That pratikulata that I look upon an object, I have dvesh there. This is rag dvesh. It is not aniyam. Aniyam means it is niyam. नियमित है ये कि अपने अपने इंद्रियों के अपने अपने विषय में राग द्वेष है. सर्वत्र तव भवतः, इन एवरीवन. ये नित्यम, नियत, नॉट नित्यम, ये नियम से है. इन एवरीवन. तत्र, देर, पुरुषकारस्य शास्त्रस्य च अयम. This purushakara means purushartha, your effort, your will. And shastra vishaya, पुरुष शार्थ का विषय और शास्त्र का विषय. यत तयोहो, the विषय is of both your purusharth and shastra. What they are telling us is tayoho, both of them are telling us tayoho vasham na agachet iti. In this manner, it says, do not come under their influence. This is the method. This is the basic. We have understood Rag and Dvesh now. Can someone just say it in a line? What do we mean by Rag and Dvesh here? What is said so far?
Something that makes us perceive certain situations or aspects as pratikul or anukul.
And that is just one part of it. And
so what appeals to you is pratikul and what you don't like is anukul.
And
therefore you need to use your intellect. And
no. A little before that. And I will
At
then.
the level of our thoughts, we can control it.
No. We've gone a little ahead. What have we just done in these two lines? First part was correct, both of you.
And all our indriyas automatically are connected to this as a niyam.
Okay, very good. Yes, one more. Okay. Yes, what we give value to. But importantly, coming from samskar, okay.
Every indriya has its rag dvesh.
Yes, Therefore, how do you identify that rag?
When it disturbs you.
All right. What is said here?
Shastra Nishid. Shastra Nishid.
Yes.
You tell us.
Okay. Shastra Nishid api. If it is even Nishid by Shastra, even then I have a value for it. That's why the example of the rasa, alcohol. Shastra
Okay, got it,
Nishid. Now got it?
Yes, clearly got it.
हाँ, I thought there was a miss. शास्त्र निषिद्ध जो कर रहा है उसके बावजूद I am seeing myself that I have a hold over it. I want something which Shastra is saying that you should have. That is Shastra Nishiddha api ragaha and Shastra Vihitta api. If Shastra is saying I should do something, but I still don't find myself making myself do it, I don't gravitate towards it. There is dvesh. This is clear? So rest of the points you have all got. This is very important for the next part to understand. Katham,
Yes.
how? याही पुरुषस्य प्रकृति ही जैसी जैसी पुरुष की प्रकृति है सा बलवत अनिष्ट अनुबंधित्व ज्ञान अभाव सहकृते बंधित्व ज्ञान अभाव सहकृते. I'll repeat this part. जैसी जैसी पुरुष की प्रकृति है वैसा बलवत forcefully अनिष्ट अनुबंधित्व ज्ञान अभाव forcefully takes me when there is absence of knowledge. ज्ञान अभाव है, अभाव नहीं है, ज्ञान नहीं है. जब किस चीज का ज्ञान नहीं है कि ये जहां ये जा रही है मेरी इंद्रिया बलवत अनिष्ट है. ये एक्चुअली रियली स्पीकिंग इज not ishta, unishta. This is not desirable. And later on, anubandhitva, it is going to tie me down. It will become a means for bondage. It will become my bondage. It will cause bondage. Sahakrite means that absence of that knowledge is what is the important factor, that I do not have knowledge, that where my indriyas are taking me on my raga dvesh, that helplessly when they take me, forcefully when they take me, those experiences or that seeking of mine is actually not desirable. They are going to, why is it not desirable? They are going to become the reason for my bondage tomorrow. वो मुझे बांध लेंगे संसार में, वो मुझे बांध लेंगे, वो मुझे कहीं ना कहीं जाके संसार में फंसा देंगे. My rag, my dvesh, I do not have the knowledge that they are going to be the reason for my bondage tomorrow if I pursue my rag. Like supposing here, in the example of any tamasic activity or any of the rasa, rupa, gandha, any of these examples you can take. If I am going to be pursuing it helplessly, forcefully, that those senses activations will bind me. I do not have that knowledge. I am not able to foresee कि ये मेरे बंधन का कारण बन रहे हैं. So far correct?
Absolutely.
Everyone's understood so far? So This much, this is the first part, because it's going to go step by step. This, because I do not have a knowledge of, therefore, sahakrite. Second part is ishta sadhanatva jnana nibandhanam ragam. That whatever I am seeking, I look upon as ishta. I look upon as desirable, and it is going to be binding me. That ragam, puraskritya eva, it is propelling me. राग आगे रह के मुझे खींच रहा है अपने विषय की तरफ, which is शास्त्र निषिद्ध है, which is actually शास्त्र से निषिद्ध किया हुआ. प्रवर्तयति, it takes me towards it. Example, kalanja bhakshanadam. Kalanja bhakshana means having killing and eating. When I kill and eat just for the sake of taste, killing and eating. So all Shastra Nishiddha karma is in this example. So this much is saying, just as what I should not be consuming, Shastra Nishid is there. Do not consume meat, do not consume alcohol, do not entertain thoughts of aggrandizing others' wealth, do not covet another's wealth, do not covet another's wife, etc. Those kind of nishiddhas. But I find myself being pulled. Why? In this, what is the example given? Anybody? So far, what we have done, where is the example? Where is the reason? Sorry, not example. Where is the reason?
Because I don't acknowledge or see it as nishid.
Right.
I don't have the answer.
So, jnana abhava. What is that jnana abhav? That jnana abhav is that this, what I am now pursuing, is tomorrow going to become a means for my unhappiness. When we say it's going to bind me, means what? मेरे जीवन में क्लेश लाएगा, मेरे जीवन को परेशान करेगा, मेरे को परेशान करेगा, मेरा जीवन परेशान होगा तो मैं भी परेशान. So it will give me undesirable experiences. Tatha, also in the same way, balavat ishta sadhanatva jnana abhava sahakrita anishta sadhanatva jnana nibandhanam dvesham. In the same way, also for dvesh, when I do not have the knowledge that this is actually ishta sadhanatva, this is actually good for me. If I do not have jnana abhav, I have jnana abhav, I do not have knowledge that this is actually good for me. That supportiveness of that knowledge, sahakrita, saha means along with, that supportiveness of that knowledge, sadhanatva jnana nibandhanam dvesham. I don't have that knowledge, and therefore that I avoid, even if Shastra is telling me to do it. What is the absence of knowledge here, in this case, in Dvesh?
That's the right thing to do.
That it's the right thing to do. Ishta sadhanatva. Ishta means it's the desirable thing. Sadhanatva means it will be the means for my future happiness, or for my good, for my welfare, for my completeness, whatever I seek, it is conducive for that. But I don't have that knowledge that ye actually is the right thing to do. I don't have that knowledge. So, dvesha puraskritya, that dvesh will lead me. And shastra vihitat api nivartayati. I will not engage myself in what is shastra vihitam, Like what? Sandhya Vandana Dehe. Whatever Shastra tells us to do, like Sandhya Vandanam, etc., I will not do it. So, in general, what does Shastra tell us to do? Get up before sunrise, offer your own swadhyaya, uh, engage yourself in your self study. If you are not very self study oriented or you don't have knowledge enough to pursue self study, do your little prayers in the morning, do your little chantings, parayanams, japa, whatever. And your mind, do not hurt others, do not disturb others, etc., as much as you can take. This is Shastra Vihita. Some examples. When I cannot see the welfare that Shastra Vihita karma is to bring to me, then Dvesh propels me to doing Shastra Nishiddha karma, which become the cause of my samsar. Is this clear? I'm going step by step because it's very intricate, long sentence also. So at every sentence I'm asking, I hope it's become clear.
Ji. And it's very easy to lose track of these things.
Yes. That's why, see, the Karan here is very important. Why am I taking this portion? Is because there is a reason shown here and it's very subtle. It's very beautiful. Rag is very easy to use as a word. We think of it only as a lot of love and affection, and we tend to have a connotation of rag as something very desirable. It's appreciated in a relation and etc. Shastra drishti, rag is your bondage. Dvesh also we associated with a lot of hatred, and hatred is the right word. But here Shastra says, when do you develop rag and dvesh? When you cannot see that it is actually bringing you worth tomorrow or not. आज जो आप कर रहे हो, आपको अगर वो इमीडिएट सुख मिल रहा है, लेकिन आपको बाद में वही दुख मिलेगा, उसी से दुख मिलेगा, वही दुख का कारण बनेगा, तो would you want to do it?
So if
Is everybody clear on that? No?
Yes.
And we need to remember na कि ये वो उस time at that point in that moment you
One-
lose track.
हाँ, correct. At that moment you lose track. We'll come to that. Why do we lose track? Is clarity not being there. It needs to be ascertained. But that this is going to give me dukh tomorrow. For example, if I'm a diabetes patient and the doctors clearly advised me that I should not have sweets, but you complete this, somebody, one person, complete the example, fitting this, what we just studied.
But you have a sweet tooth, and so you indulge in chocolates and pastries, and as a result, tomorrow you see a sudden rise in your heart issues, in blood pressure and diabetes, because you couldn't control.
So which indriya?
Taste.
Taste. Rasa indriya. Taste. So you indulged in it because what you saw in front of you already triggered your taste bud, and you forgot at that moment that the advice you decided not to heed, even if you remembered, it was powerful enough for you to say, I am going to have it. And if you can remember, instantly someone says in your ear that if you take this sweet that is kept in front of you, this chocolate, this pastry in front of you, somebody has poisoned it. What will happen to your desire to have that chocolate and pastry?
It will go instantly, and you will not feel tempted even a little bit.
And this is what here in this example, in the next line, Madhusudanji is saying. Tatra, now this is where Shastra becomes very useful. And Shastra is that which is giving us the samskar. It is laying down the knowledge in us so that it comes handy to us in managing our ragadvesh. Tatra, there, shastrena pratishiddhasya, whatever the shastra has given pratishiddham, do not indulge in, balavat anishta anubandhitve jnapite sahakarya abhavat, because shastra says this is pratishiddham, the force with which you go there, when you have the knowledge of it being not good for you, harmful for you, that Shastra knowledge becomes the Sahakari. Sahakari, let's put it this way. It becomes Sahakari, means it becomes a helpful aid to you. So, Drishta Ishta Sadhanata Agyanam Madhu Visha Samprikta Anna Bhojana Eva. So, whatever you are seeing in front as madhu means sweet, but someone says it has got poison in it. It has been poisoned. Samprikta, anna bhojanam, madhu visha samprikta. There is visha in it. It's mixed with visha, poison. Tatra na ragam janaitum. Rag hote हुए भी it will not rise. Na janaitum. It will not rise at all. Na janaitum shaknoti. Not even possible that the rag will rise in you. The minute I see that that food has poison in it, my rag does not even rise. In this manner, vihitasya shastrena balavat ishta anubandhatve bodhate sahakari. Same with the dvesham. If you know that this is desirable to eat, you won't resist it. Like if you have diabetes and the doctor gives you have karele ka juice every day and your blood sugar will come down. If it works like that, I do not know. I'm just taking an example. Then you see ishta sadhanatvam there. It looks poison today. It's difficult. I would have dvesh in it. I don't want to have the bitter gourd juice. There is dvesh. But if I have Shastra saying it will be good for you tomorrow, what will happen? The dvesh will not come up. Distinction clear?
Anji.
So what is the importance? What is preventing the rag and dvesh from janaitam, from growing, from expressing, from manifesting? What is preventing it?
Trusting and remembering the Shastra's advice.
Right. The knowledge is what is preventing my flow with the rag and dvesh. Even if it is there, balavat. The fact that it can tell me, yes, correct. The fact that it can tell me at the right, the fact that Shastra tells me that what you see as valuable, auspicious, beneficial today is going to create problem tomorrow. I will instantly not have pravritti towards it. ये जो दिखा रहा है वो सिर्फ शास्त्र दिखा रहा है कि आप अगर अधर्म से जियोगे तो कल को आपको जीवन में दिक्कत क्लेश आएगी। जब शास्त्र ये दिखा देता है तो अपने आप ही वो प्रवृत्ति टुवर्ड्स अधर्म रुक जाती है, उठती नहीं है, बिकॉज एवरीवन वांट्स हैप्पीनेस, एवरीवन वांट्स फुलफिलमेंट, एवरीवन सीक्स पीस। हम ये सोच के उसकी तरफ जाते हैं, अधर्म की तरफ, ये सोच के कि ये करने से मुझे जल्दी आनंद मिलेगा, मुझे ज्यादा आनंद मिलेगा, मुझे खुशी मिलेगी, therefore I can do this because it will, I see it as an end result in giving me happiness. But if Shastra tells me and shows me logically also, it appeals to my mind, my intellect, and I'm able to see that how in the pursuit of my own raga dvesh are actually causes of my bondage. ये मुझे बांध रहे हैं, मुझे आनंद नहीं दे रहे, मुझे कल को इनमें आनंद नहीं मिलेगा. Even though at this immediate point I think I have got some happiness having my chocolate ice cream and I feel, oh, wonderful, wonderful, how nice, how nice, how nice. But that chocolate ice cream is not the cause of your is going to bind you tomorrow. If Shastra tells me this and I am able to see it, logically I'm able to connect to it. Shastra gives enough logic as well. If I'm able to connect to that logic, I will be able to hold it. So I will be able to remember it when my raga dvesh propels me. But what is important here in the context is not only when my raga dvesh propels me, what does Shastra really want us? Karam Yoga, what does Krishna really want us to do with reference to raga dvesh?
Chatushtadhi?
Okay. Yes.
Like doing one's duty, focusing on one's duty.
If you focus yourself, Karam Yoga is shifting your entire direction away from your raga dvesh and it's feeding. आपके राग द्वेष आपको एक डायरेक्शन में ले जा रहे हैं, कर्म योग आपको एक डायरेक्शन ऐसा ले जा रहा है which is not feeding your raga dvesh. That moving in that direction of just doing what you're supposed to do, this, he says over here, will finally take you towards your own Shanti through Chitta Shuddhi, of course. And therefore, Purusharth has a very important role and Shastra has a very important role because Shastra tells us where the Purusharth is supposed to be put. If we are putting the Purusharth in the direction of Raga Dvesh, then what does Shastra say? What will come to you later? Bondage. And what is Shastra saying? Do those actions as Ishwararpanam, without phalicha. Give your phalicha to me. When you do that with samarpan bhav, arpan bhav, it's a development of chitta. People think it's making you weak. It makes you kamzor. No. It refines your purusharth. Having the discernment of what is to be handed over to Ishvara under his laws and which is the realm of my purusharth. Acting on ragadvesh is not the realm of my purusharth. Doing according to my swabhav, the karmas or my interests that generate the karmas, allowing those karmas to function as long as they are in my dharma and swadharma, avoiding akarma. Akarma means avoiding not being active, not being active, being inactive, lazy, avoiding doing what I have to do. If I am able to do what I should be doing in the interest that I already hold within those interests, and at the level of thoughts, I have changed my attitude. Raga Dvesh and its fulfillment is not my attitude, but my attitude has moved towards Arpanam, Samarpanam, pure bhav. What else is here anyway? So, when I am able to do those karmas, then he says, this raga, dvesha, which is swabhavik vikar, they in the Shastra Viveka Vijnana Prabalyena. Prabalyena means they become forceful. When this, let us start from here. Tataha cha pratipaddham shastram vihite purusham pravartayati. When you have dedicated yourself or got inspired by the Shastra, and you are now guiding yourself, living yourself in a lifestyle which is Shastra Vihita. Purusham Pravartayati means you are following that. Nishiddhancha Nivartayati, and you keep yourself away from that which is Nishiddham. As a result of which, Shastriya Viveka Vijnana Prabalyena. Because of this prabalta of Vivek Vijnana, Shastra Janat, Shastra based, my Viveka Shakti has become strong. I have Gyan, Shastra Vijnana, which has made my Viveka Prabal. Prabal is strength, has gained strength, is now having a force of its own. That force of Viveka, based on Shastra Vidya, will do what? Swabhavika raga dvesha yoho karana upamartena. Because the cause, which is swabhavik raga desh, gets handled, therefore one does not move towards raga dvesh and keeps oneself moving towards one's own higher shreyas, one's own moksha marga. One keeps moving towards inner growth, inner anchor, coming closer towards what is your real source. You keep arriving closer to your own nature, the truth, ultimate, as quote unquote. That comes because the raga dvesh now has become shithil, is now weakened. How did it get weakened? Shastra Viveka Vijnana Prabalyena. Because of the force of Shastra Viveka Vijnana. Therefore, Shastra Purushakara Vayarthya Prasangaha Na is not there. Shastra and Purushar have a prasanga, have a validity. So what did he say in 33rd verse? Sadrisham cheshtate swasyaha prakritir jnanavanapi. Even a one who has knowledge, ज्ञानवान भी अपनी अपनी प्रकृति के हिसाब से चेष्टा करते हैं. And remember that cheshta word we said, that swabhavik pravritti that generates without someone forcing it from outside or guiding or telling, आप अपने आप कहाँ जाते हैं, that is your raga dvesh, prakriti. Prakritam yanti bhutani. Everybody moves on their prakriti. Nigraha kim karishyati. What can control or force do? Then the question had risen, if you cannot even apply force, then what are we? Is it just completely destiny? Is human being having no independent will? Here in the 31st verse, he says, you have an independent will. You have an independent purusharth that you can do. But where can you apply that purusharth? in weakening your ragadvesh. Because in weakening your ragadvesh and not flowing by them, you will gain growth. Because ragadvesh are the ones that rob you of your sampatti, your own inner sampatti. All right.
Kritishi, Kamya Karma, otherwise they are not Nishid. But in this context, because they are Ragdvesh propelled, so they are Nishid, right?
See, Kamya karmas have two meanings. One meaning is, as you have just put in, if it's just ragadvesh based, then yeah, they'll become nishid. But Kamya karma has a technical meaning whereby, for the sake of the fulfillment of my raga, not dvesh obviously, for some desire fulfillment, I am seeking intervention from Bhagwan through karmas and upasanas. Kamya karam hai wo. So if I want if I want a child, then there is a particular ritual. If I want rains, then there is a particular ritual. So I'm seeking those karmas to fulfill a specific desire. Vaidika karma. That is called kamya karma. In that sense, Shastra allows kamya karma. But who's the fulfiller of that karma? आपकी इच्छा की पूर्ति किससे हो रही है? ईश्वर प्रसाद. बट जब हमारा ही राग द्वेष हमको अपनी इच्छाओं से खींच रहा है to fulfill ourselves, that raga dvesh fulfillment is nishiddha. So kamya karma is very small place in the sanction. The legitimate desires, if you really have and you depend on them, Shastra, Vedas say, okay, it's okay, you can fulfill them, no problem. But let Bhagwan fulfill them. You do what you're supposed to do. What are you supposed to do? Do your karma. But what does Karam Yoga do? The context is Karam Yoga. What is Karam Yoga doing?
You are not thinking of the desire fulfillment.
Exactly. So you're not thinking of desire fulfillment in the first place. आपको काम्य कर्म में ही इंटरेस्ट नहीं है. आपको चित्त शुद्धि में इंटरेस्ट है. Okay.
Yes.
So now he said, so far everybody okay? Yes, everyone's okay. So now he says, in the 35th verse, we'll quickly cover, we've already done yesterday. He says, Shreyan Swadharmaha Vikunaha. Returning back to this verse, from that point, better is to do your own Swadharma even if it has a Vikuna. It has a flaw. It has difficulty and connected with Ragadvesh. Our Ragadvesh not being fed will have a difficulty in their execution. जहाँ हमारी इच्छा पूरी नहीं हो रही, हमें वहाँ कर्म करना अच्छा नहीं लगता. So he says, in your own swadharma, even if it has got a flaw, better is that to die. Nidhanam shreyaha. Better is to die in your swadharma than abiding in someone else's dharmas. Paradharma swanushthitat. To follow someone else's dharma. Avoid, do not just avoid, do not follow another's dharma. Paradharmo bhayavahaha. Because paradharma is fraught with fear. You will have bhaya. That's as simple as that. And which sort of a bhaya? Shankara gives a narak adi lakshanam bhayam avahati iti yataha. Because the fear is that it pushes you into realms which look fearful. Narak adi lakshana, which have a lakshana of narakam, etc. So this doesn't have much except for this. Paradharma means narakadi lakshana. That is it. So here he said, therefore always follow your swadharma. So he's saying that to Arjun. What is his swadharma? Fight the war. He's a Kshatriya. Therefore, fight the war. To all of us, what is our respective swadharma? Stick to your swadharma even if it is difficult. Even if it appears to be not giving you what you want. Even if it appears to be causing klesh. Follow it. So, Shreyan Prashasyataram Swadharme Yam Varnashrama. I think this is quite clear in itself. There's nothing more than that. So now in the next verse, but natural, after learning all this, there's a question that will come to our mind if you've maintained the thought flow of the verses. Anybody can connect the question? That स्वाभाविक हमारे मन में आना चाहिए जितना हमने अभी पोर्शन किया है. When Krishna gave his own example that even I follow my own rules, even I follow my prakriti. When I come into this, I also follow this to set an example. Doing what is my swadharma, I abide in it. Therefore, O Arjun, you should also. He gave various examples, and then he gave this, that do not disturb the minds of those who are attached to their actions, lead them onwards by setting up examples. And then he said, what? Because one's nature is very, very powerful. You cannot change the course of a river suddenly. Our nature is like a river. बहती है. आप उसको एकदम से नहीं बदल सकते. You will have to take, how does a river change its course? Naturally, not at the times of floods. How does it change its course? Very gradually it takes a turn around mountains and boulders, and very gradually it goes. Slowly it changes the course. So he said, since our natures are very, very powerful, do not disturb others. Instead, what do? He says, abide in your own swadharma and keep doing what you're supposed to be doing as duty, offering it to me. Mai sarvani karmani, offer them to me, and do not fall a prey to your raga dvesh, which will take you to your own realms of sense pleasures and indulgences. They will become means for your bondage. Instead, keep your life within the areas of Shastra Vihita karmas, Shastra Vihita experiences. Seek only Shastra Vihita. Plan your life, organize your activities, seek those things that are sanctioned by the Shastra. And however much temptation you may have from within to do the Nishiddha, Shastra Nishiddha karma, if Shastra said absolutely no to it, you must have knowledge of what Shastra is saying no and what Shastra is saying yes to. If you understand Shastra says no to it, resist it. What will help you to resist that is Shastra Gyan, that tomorrow it will become a means for greater problem. कल ज़्यादा problem बढ़ के उठेगी. Therefore, let's not go there. And slowly, slowly, you will come to the stage of Chitta Shuddhi and seek the higher. Now, Krishna had said, Mai Sarvani Karmani Sanyasyaste. Give everything to me. But Arjun, good point again. I'm taking that point up. Relevant here. That is why I'm taking it up. Arjun was having fear in doing his own duty. Here we said paradharma bhayavaha. But here we find Arjun had fear in doing his own duty. Was the fear in doing his because of doing his duty, or was there another source of fear? What was the fear that he had felt? Where did the fear come from?
From the result of his action.
And that's right, from the result, the outcome of his action. What was Arjuna's fear?
That so many people will lose their lives.
So many people will lose their lives, and
He was
His
hesitant.
attachment to
And his loved ones will
People will
lose
lose their
his
lives.
loved ones.
correct.
Correct.
So his attachment, he will lose his loved ones. That loss, personal loss. Accruing pap was not so much of his fear at that point. His why the conflict started in the first chapter when we did it in great details over there. He had that occurrence of fear at the thought of losing those he cherishes. He was never scared of his duty. He was not fearful that he'll have to kill. That was not his fear. His fear was that war must make him kill. But in killing, he's killing his own people. It's his loss that he was seeing, loss of his loved people. That was the fear. So fear has few sources. And this bhayavaha, when it says, that is why acharyas have said, narak adi bhayava. That hellish life, it will take me to more. It's like supposing if you if someone has absolute shastra nishiddha habits, you have habits of drinking, of gambling. What are more shastra nishiddha habits you can have? Of borrowing and gambling. So you are drinking, borrowing, gambling. What else is there? You are you are a bad investor of money, therefore you don't value money, and you are arrogant, and you throw your power, you throw your success, whatever you have acquired by past. Okay, you are also non-veg. You are very good. Thank you. You're a non. You eat by killing, and you take a joy out of it. Not when you have to kill for survival, but you are killing for joy. You are killing for joy. Then you are stealing also. Very good. Okay, thank you. Now I think this much is good enough for us. Now, if you're doing all of this, then the person's raga dvesh is taking them towards there. What is Shastra's advantage if by some anugrah this person gets the and has the availability to listen in his mind, her mind? Shastra is saying all this will take you to a life as if living in hell. And hell has a, in Puranas, the description of hell, if you read it, रोंगटे खड़े हो जाते हैं. Heaven doesn't look so attractive, but the description of hell definitely keeps us on our toes. Puranas give us the description of hell as very ghori, very ghori. And what it means to say is whether there is a place called hell or in the earth only you will live a hellish life, either way, it doesn't matter. Shastra's definite stand is you take a life in hell. But in modern context, people have accommodated it to say even on earth your life will be like hell, living in a hell. So that gives you fear then. शास्त्र जब आपको पहले बता देता है कि मैं ये करने से मुझे ये होगा, वो मुझे डराता है. So there are different kinds of fear. उस डर के कारण I will not move towards doing what I am gravitating to. I will avoid stealing, I will avoid killing unnecessarily, I will avoid what else we added. Because if I do this, tomorrow I will land up in hell. Therefore, there is a difference in that. Paradharma is like that. It will take me towards hell. I'll lose my way. I'll be a confused person. मुझे समझ ही नहीं आएगा मुझे क्या करना है. शुरू में अच्छा लगेगा. शुरू में मुझे लगेगा कि I can. But in the long run, you won't be able to sustain it. You will get confused. There are many examples, but unfortunately, they can only be personal. Yeah, killing his own. So, but I can't give that. So, if anybody else has an example where you can identify what is paradharma that you prevented yourself from following, because Shastra said, do not follow paradharma. Stick to swadharma, even if it is difficult. Think about it if one has ever learned and applied it directly in life. So now, I think that should be clear to you, Beenaji. So now, I said there will be a natural question that comes up. We'll just introduce this and stop. What is a natural question that should come up?
That in spite of all this,
Spite of knowing that
One
that is
person,
wrong.
one person. Huh. Either of, I think, do we have a hand raise option here? I don't know if Zoom has it or not.
Yes, there
Yeah.
is.
There is, so I think it'll be. So one person, anyone? Since iPad raised, whose iPad? I do not know. Please.
Rajni.
Okay. Yes.
So I think that the question should be that in spite of all this knowledge and we know that we are doing wrong, but what is that force which propels us to do this wrong again?
Yeah. Correct. Yes. Right. Neetuji, you wanted to add something?
no, Dipti.
Okay.
That's
So,
fine.
So what will come to us when Shastra is so clearly telling us follow dharma, follow swadharma, do not give in to your ragadvesh, they are causes of your bondage. And Krishna is directly saying, do your karma as an offering to me and I will release you from all samsara, I will give you moksha. I will give you moksha, he says. Then why, despite all this, despite not wanting to follow ragadvesh, we still get forced, as if forced, along with acting on our ragadvesh? That is Arjun's question now. Athakena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha. How come then we get propelled in doing those that accrue papam? Anichannapi Varshnaya, O Varshnaya, O Krishna, not desiring also, anichan, nahi chahte hue bhi, baladi iva, as if by force, niyojitaha, we get pushed to act on it. And then in the next verse, till the end of the chapter, Krishna is now summarizing it in a way, answering what that force is. And what would that force be? Ragadvesh. What he's just said is your paripanthi. That ragadvesh, he's now expanding a little bit because of its importance, that it is a paripanthi. They are your enemies on the marg of your shreyas. Yes, in spite of all this, surprises how we still land up acting in a way that we accrue papa. Why do we get propelled? I think we should identify with that question to some degree. We know greed is wrong. We know anger is wrong. We know jealousy is wrong. We know all these things, but why do we still act on them? Okay. We'll end here. आप conclude. जी.
हाँ जी. ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु, सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महिषाः, गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं, लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु, काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः, पृथ्वी सस्यशालिनी, देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः, ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Recording stopped.
Yes. So thank you everyone. Dhanyavad.
Dhanyavad Dipti ji.
Yes.
Dhanyavad. Thank you so
Dipti ji.
much.
Hari Om.
Hari
Thank you
Om
very
ji.
much.
Thank you very much.